That's right platform. A pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. And don't forget to share, 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 share. Like and share.
We are not forgotten people.
Hey, Ramota Singh, a pleasant good morning to you. Sharon. Anna Ramsamy, a pleasant good morning to you. Davy, good morning. Desmond Hines, a good morning to you. Marilyn Sitaran, good morning to you. Tommy, a pleasant good morning to you. Tommy Mohammed. Balroop, you're still up there, boy. Good morning to you. Blessed morning to you too, Ramota Singh. Oh, boy. Michael Scotland, good morning. Gloria Pleasant, good morning to you. Chandra Ramit, good morning to you.
Yet the Christians are heroes. Renegades, desperados, forever looking on heaven.
Hey, Nazan, good morning to you, Nazan.
Music shatters this.
Anne-Marie Amin, a pleasant good morning to you. Ganesh Prasad, good morning, Peter. Yes, Peter Samlal Singh, good morning, Pearl. Rampy soon, a pleasant good morning to you. Donna, Lutchman, good morning, Keith. Nadira, pleasant good morning to you. Shirley. Earl, good morning. Primraj, a pleasant good morning. Tara, all Taras, good morning to you. Wendy and John, a pleasant good morning.
Woman crushed to death in Chagwana's name.
Indra Pinky, good
Rishard
morning
Khan
to
13
you.
hours ago.
Michael
Police at a
Khan, a
crime
pleasant
scene.
good morning.
File photo by Jeff K.
Dan
Mayers.
Harilal, good morning
Police
to you.
at
I
a
ain't see you
crime scene.
yesterday.
File
Bix,
photo
Bix.
by Jeff K. Mayers. Police have
morning to you.
identified the woman who suffered a horrific death on the morning of August
not good
29th when
morning.
she was run over by a truck in Chagwanas. Police are still gathering information,
Mira
but
from
initial
Princess
reports
Tong, a
said
pleasant
Indra
good morning
Elizabeth
to
Das,
you.
57,
Tommy Roberts,
was
good
trying to
morning.
cross the Montrose Main Road around 11 a.m. when the truck hit and rolled over her. She died on the spot.
Matilda Rhodes,
More
a
on this as it
pleasant good
becomes
morning
available.
to you. Edmond Mendez, good morning. Dafika Balkaram, a good morning to you. Denise Stefan. Jenny Bell. Yeah, that kind of name, they Jenny Bell. Oh, oh, Jenny Bell. Oh, God.
There's only and just left inside.
But oh, God, in a good way, in a good way.
You meant I settled with muscle and you're 6 feet deep by 3 wide.
I get pity better have that Jenny Bell. Could you bring a coffee for me, please, Jenny Bell?
Lennox Smith, ground report on corridor
Jenny Bell,
transformation
we're
30th.
cooking today, Jenny
Of
Bell.
2020, Lennox Smith, ground report on corridor transformation 30th. Of 2024.
So they've boom boxes, can I go? Drum out fighting from the ghetto.
Hey, Jenny Bell, come here, rub my foot a little bit there, baby.
From the ghetto.
Afisa, Afisa. Yeah, Afisa. D. Mohammed. Good morning, man. Felix, good morning, Felix.
Police arrest 3 men in $200,000 extortion
Richard
racket.
Jamaraj, good morning, good
Gregory
morning, good
MC
morning,
Bernie
each and
15
every one
hours
of
ago.
you.
File photo.
Oh boy.
File photo.
Angela.
Police have
Good
arrested
morning,
3 men
LP,
suspected
good
of extorting
morning.
over $200,000 from more than a dozen people. Officers of the North Central Division held the men on August 28th during a police operation. After weeks of investigations and surveillance, the 3 suspects, a 39-year-old of Santa Cruz, a 33-year-old of St. Joseph and a 26-year-old, police arrest 3 men in $200,000 extortion racket. Gregory MC Bernie 15 hours ago. File photo. File photo. Police have arrested 3 men suspected of extorting over $200,000 from more than a dozen people. Officers of the North Central Division held the men on August 28th during a police operation. After weeks of investigations and surveillance, the 3 suspects, a 39-year-old of Santa Cruz, a 33-year-old of St. Joseph and a 26-year-old of Valsaine, were held on suspicion of demanding money by menace. Police say the crimes spanned several months, and the men received multiple payments during that time. The intelligence-led operation also included members of the Cybercrime Unit and the Central Division's Gang Unit, and was supervised by SNR Sub Smith, SNR Sup Simon, Sup John,
You all been
ASB Singh,
in the
and
company of
SGTC Elto.
yours truly, the Pitbuller Radio.
Police urged victims
Till
of
about
similar crimes
7
to report them to
to
their
past
district
7.
police station so
I have
investigations
no
can be
choice
launched.
today. I have no choice.
Meanwhile, investigative work by
Family
Southern
duty
Division
calls.
officers resulted in the arrest of a 14-year-old for store breaking and larceny.
And motherly duty
A
calls.
businesswoman in Princestown told police she locked her business
But
premises
having
on
to go
August
to the
27th,
school.
but when she returned on August 28th, she saw the premises had been broken into and several boxes of goods were
But
missing.
it's two different
Police investigated and later
two
that day
different
arrested
kids.
two suspects,
And
a
all 2 kids in the
27-year-old from
orientation
Princestown and
or
a
first day
14-year-old
out.
from New
Well,
Grant.
today in
Investigations
school
are ongoing.
it's the same time. It was a different time. Well, the mother could have handled all of that. But knowing is different time is same time or same time. Well, I had a ups with one of the kids. And the mom had the ups with the next kid to go do what you gotta do. But you all will be the true company of yours favorite Lennox Smith, Michael Kerr. From around that time. Marvin, a pleasant good morning to you. Kevin. Kevin George, good morning. Onika, a pleasant good morning to you. Makano, good morning to you, Makano. Ravi, aka Postman.com, all of you. That's a lock loan. Good morning to you, Anaram Sami. All of you on Jason Miller. Good morning to you. Don't forget to send your voice notes. Send your voice notes. Please send your voice notes. And what's your front burner? Send it from now. Unfortunately, yesterday, please God, dear, I realized, unfortunately, well, hey, Kendrick from Passar, good morning to you, my brother. Over get Jacqueline, Sammy, all of you, a pleasant good morning. Nicholas Arish, good morning. Big Ram and your wife, good morning, good morning. Bishop Nichols, all of you that are locked on. Adan, you send out one papers day. Rusty Nail, you ain't send nothing again up late these days, man. Inja Pinky say, very good, Andy. It's nice to see you doing your family duties. I will be honest, not to my best. Absolutely not to my best, because again, I have been concentrating on making a better life for everyone. Trinidad and Tobago on the whole. So you know, in everything it has sacrifice. But when I have to, and if I can do, spend time, do things with, I do. But today is a time where I have to let up on this, so around 7 o'clock or a little after 7. Yes, to go do my family duties. I have to carry my daughter to the new school. That's the one that passed for Azra girls. Aye, but Lennox Smith and yours truly, Michael Kerr, will carry you all through. Even me the opportunity, boy, I only know. Either stay here till damn 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Only know where this go. Not so, Glenn? John, good morning to you. Bobby, a pleasant good morning. Oh, my partner, Bulls Barber Shop. Bulls, where we are going? Oh, let's share. Oh boy. What voice notes will you send for me? Send them for me from now. So we can get them play from now. Send all voice notes, even if I'm not wrong. Send your voice notes. I'm going to get it to play. So even if I'm not wrong, I will send it to the studio. So you all can get those voice notes played out.
Yes, indeed, of course, I present morning to all and sundry on the corridor transformation, listening to the Grount report. So
make sure you
we
send
have
those
joined
voice notes.
the Grount report at this point in time. Andy is at the wheels, so to speak. Of course, he will have a truncated morning, meaning that he will be out by 7, and of course, the rest of the period until 9 o'clock will
after
be
the 7 and
in the hands
LENNOX will keep reminding you
of both Mikey and myself. So enjoy as we continue, of course.
Okay, what made me sad yesterday is watching the accident
in Trinidad
of that truck driver running over that lady.
And of course in the region. So
I mean, the lady
enjoy.
come out the bank, straight out the bank or the fast service machine or however. She walked across the road. Yes, and I'm Sammy. I'm cheering on them like they're bright, you know. Right. One gone the first choice in George's College, or next one gone the first choice to Ashraf Girls College. Yeah, and I been straight, you know. I just keep my children away, far away from government schools and thing, you know. I being straight, I just keep my children far away from anyway that to my Creole children, you know. I being straight, I telling all you, they not matter, nothing, you know. It's a matter of just being a very smart father. I just keep my child, I want them around the Indian children. I been straight and I no discrimination, you know, because I half-breed. I both come from pure Indian, pure African. My rest father go to school, I keeping them away, far away from any government institution that the school is majority make up African children. Not me, boy. What? I see the denominational schools and them doing real great. I go organize to put my children and them in a government school. Even if you're growing up your children good and you put them where it have children that are not being brought up properly and under that umbrella and peer pressure, where you feel you don't want them to learn the learning day. And you telling them, say amen, excuse me. Them learning MC and everything right there. But all schools, you got those kind of things. But it is very minimized. It is very complex or very little. In the denominational schools and them, whether it be the Muslim schools, the Hindu schools, the Baptist school and all. It less. In them other government school there, it's quite trouble, but I think that you doing hard work and as your child leave and going in that school there, the mind just get corrupt. Because them going and talk all when they see in front of the parent home there who cussing who, or who might be doing rudeness in front of the child. Oh God, boy, not me. So I'm not saying that it's not all over here. It's in all schools, but the average of school delinquency, how much school fights here they see. Them in them other school, they more studying. Them there's more studied different, they study different things. I don't want to think because I might know to put it down now. And I don't want nobody be offended or feel well, you know. I don't know. I want to put it down the right way now. I want to put it down offensive to nobody because I'm not being offensive. Everybody have a choice and I choose because of the government school. What's yet? Under this government? And what the education system reach? And how much school fights and sexing in school and all kind of bacchanal thing and teachers, students beating teachers and you don't see that, you don't see that really when it comes to the denominational schools. When I watch the denominational schools, I see him parents dropping the children to school or maxis dropping the children to school. I see parents mostly picking up their children and vehicle picking up the children. I seen when it has school meetings and various things, parents attending, and it have participation of parents and kids and the school and teachers. I seen in the national school closed, and all of them teachers are being sometimes work, them just get work. Yeah, them just get them online free with a school teacher in the denominational school. I see it, my children go through that. Sometime on a weekend, we don't know, well, hey, Saturday evening, whatever time for hour, so miss going and organize everybody going online to go through work that they didn't get to cover or to find it, understand during the week. You ain't getting that in them government schools, so the government schools where you get that kind of high level kind of, that is the ones that you don't get in. Even if you live in 3 feet away or one house away, you don't get in. That the one where people, them influencers and them get through, whether to the principal and whoever call the shot. They instead living in the area and they get through it with them high-end government schools before everybody who living in the area. That's what goes on. Until that now, this force parents to organize and pay school for the kids to go, because they wouldn't want them to go to a various primary school because of what coming out right now. What the things that going on there. Some of them school, like for instance, you know, well, the missing teachers, you know, well, the children them will plenty little wayward, you know, all they understand, and not the children either. So I can't say children at the end of the day, the schools in charge, the teachers in charge, the principals in charge, the parents in charge, right? The security guards in charge, wherever it go. Right, so let me not bring the children in this. At the end of the day, parent had to do the work. Yes, a child is had in mind, but you have to do your work too. You must have to do your work. It don't happen just so. Nice. So I hope I ain't offend nobody. Thing there, I wanted to talk about this lady. Well, before I do talk about this lady who get run over with this truck. Right, Montrose in Chagonas. Yeah. LENNOX Smith. Let me make sure me ain't say nothing that could offend anybody in any way based on choice. Based on, I mean, all they can be chopping out, you know. If all they seen plane crossing that bridge at Crocodile and all they might fall in, and the chance of all they falling in is likely to, it's highly likely. Well, let's chop it or they go walk and fall in. One thing is to fall, but the next thing when you fall in is the crocodile going to eat you up. Maybe have a next bridge lower down. But I know crocodile, but you might still fall. At least your chances are getting eaten crocodile in there because it's not in that when you fall there. So I don't know. LENNOX Smith, a pleasant good morning to you, my brother.
Pleasant good morning to you as well, my friend. And I think you have been, you know, engaging in a subject that is as varied as it is deep, as it is high, as it is wide. But of course, at the end of the day, the central players there, the stakeholders, apart from the children, obviously parents, and you touched on that, and you touched, of course, on the teachers and the culture in the particular institution. But it is a good thing for the population to understand that we have a team of individuals that may be, let's say, engage in different, or should I say diverse extremes of the same topic. So while I accept the fact that out of an abundance of caution, parents have a duty and responsibility to put their child where the likelihood that they can perform better and, of course, make their contribution ultimately to society, inclusive of staying away from crime and criminality. And that is where you have just described. Now, I am going to give the other side of it because my son, for example, he's 8 years of age and he's attending the Belmont primary school. I am contemplating now, in fact, in the next term, to move him from that school and bring him in the heart of all of the problems that you just announced as far as government schools are concerned. He's going to be going to of course, the Western Boys Primary School on George Street, the heart of the issues where you have so-called delinquent parents, but I don't believe parents are delinquent on purpose. Circumstances and so on will cause that. But at the same time, he is fortunate from the perspective that I myself, coming out of the teaching profession, are able to give him some extra lessons and so on, and have him, of course, keep up. But more importantly, probably go beyond. And maybe if it becomes necessary, I'm contemplating that he do exam outside of the system, especially when he gets into the secondary system, that he should be doing exam, in my view, at around 13, 14 years of age. That is the plan. But of course, most parents in poor quarters, most parents cannot afford or does not have the capacity, and that is where the problem is. Now, the government has a role to play, and you touch that, and it's there where I want to go. You see, I had a very deep discussion with Mr. Manning, Archbishop Barbara Gray Burke, and Mother Rangu, deceased, was in that meeting. Yeah, Randu, yes. And we did, in fact, discuss the question of the concordat. You know, the concordat is the arrangement between the government and the church in terms of the dissemination or the administration of the education system. And Manning was of the view that all schools should become fully and totally government schools. And we had to take pains. I remember that, and I think this is important. We took pains to show Mr. Manning, and he agreed afterwards. So let me tell you the conclusion. But we had to tell him, listen. And his first argument was that he went to Presentation College and Catholicism was the order of the day, and he found that was so despicable, right? So, but I went to a Baptist school, and I had friends who were Jehovah's Witnesses, and the school, of course, their thing is they don't close their eyes and clasp their hands to say prayer. And that school that I went to, the Hockett Baptist Primary School, in Parsons Street in Laventille, it is on the hill now. Of course, I want to say I was instrumental in moving it because it became dilapidated over the years, and I was fortunate enough to be instrumental in, of course, getting it new accommodations and so on. One of the newer schools in the Mova Laventille area. But the point I am making here is that Manning was of the view that all schools should become, and later down the road I realized why, because he became one of those new religionists. You know, he had a prophetess and so on, and therefore his perspective of denominational schools had changed. But I showed him where, and I challenged him. I said, listen, is it not that the denominational schools in this country have had a better performance in terms of achievements, academic and otherwise, even sporting? Two, is it not that these schools have less incidents of violence and delinquency, etc.? And thirdly, is it not true that parental participation, because of the ethos and their basis laid in religious precepts and concepts, and as a consequence, everybody identified with that, and therefore you have better students and better individuals ultimately coming out? And then the man, amazingly, I thought he would have continued to stay with his position. He agreed. But I see this government is now, of course, on that same path again, trying to make all schools government schools, simply because the government is funding, either in part or wholly, these schools. But that will be the biggest mistake that they will ever make. Having said that, Having said that, so that of course. So the denomination schools clearly are keeping the sanity and the reduction of delinquency at bay, or should I say the increase in delinquency at bay, clearly. But
in the education level at a high standard.
But in poor quarters, such as where we are here right now, we're located on George Street and so on, it is clear that the parents do not have the capacity, either financial, or they do not have the knowledge to teach at home. That is not the case with me. So therefore, when he goes out to school, he would know probably more than any other student, because he is in he's going to first standard, and he will be, of course, he second standard. Is it second standard, you say? Yeah, sorry, second standard, and of course he will be advanced in terms of all of the material that he would want to, or would want to be
go ahead.
Disseminated. Not to be that he would have to learn in that particular class. So there are some nuances that we have to accept, but to give all government schools to the system is a fatalistic mistake. And I share your view. Out of an abundance of caution, a parent, once they can afford it, as you probably would have been making the sacrifice, certainly will keep the children away from areas and or should I say from schools which
by government schools
which attract areas that would be considered to be not well-to-do, but they are part of the society, they are part of the system, and therefore we have to cope and adjust and adapt. I would advise all parents, no matter whether you're from well-to-do quarters or not so well-to-do or poor quarters, that you pay focus on that child. That is what my advice will be in those circumstances. There will be, of course, exceptions to the rule. Like in my case, I consider it to be exception. He is lucky that he has someone who, in fact, was a teacher and is a teacher, in fact, in all sense of the word, and therefore he gets the extra help. But in those other quarters, the extra help is not there, and unfortunately, so many young lives are lost as a consequence of that in more ways than one. Either they cannot perform simply because the teachers doesn't have the time, or they simply give up because of the level of delinquency and so on. I had the unfortunate experience in the Mova Laventil secondary school. I gone up there a day just by chance, just to talk with a teacher there, and then I hear obscene language right, left, and center. It's children congregating and cussing, etc., and you know, and the caption area, the area from where these children come, clearly. One ought not to be surprised that is happening. But
the teachers were seeing them cussing and seeing them cussing.
Yeah, but would pretend but pretend that they didn't hear. No, I am saying that also.
Pretend that they didn't hear because they know everything's to get involved there, and that child get angry. Some mother or some father after school.
So apart from the child. Apart from having to pass through the child's, what I consider to be not recrimination, but vitriolic language in the same vein of obscenity and so on, the parent may come and dealt some physical blow as well. No, I am saying so again because I may be one of the more fortunate persons.
One minute. I had to go.
All right, we'll get back. Good morning. But that's a subject that I love too bad. Good morning. Yeah.
Yes. You know, I just want to ask a question too.
Go ahead.
Shouldn't we, as a people who is voting and supporting party, first we should look at our leaders first before we support the party of our choice? I'm just asking.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yep.
Well, that's a rhetorical question. That is mandatory, ought to be at least.
Okay. No, I will tell you something why I say that. No, I normally I'm of African descent, right? And I always supported the PNM because of that then. Sometimes we support without looking at the policies, and we just had the color of our skin. And
well, the
when we young and we growing up,
the here text here we go Indian black and black man black too. What are we the same color brown? Right? It's just here 1 year straight, 1 year woolly. Right. So you're accustomed supporting your woolly hair. You're African. You're African Trinidadian. You're accustomed supporting them. Not because I'm overseas, but because them black, you supporting them. And go ahead. Let me hear your story.
Yeah. No, our problem is now, because I become a supporter at the PNM now. Well, I like Patrick Manning. And if you remember when it was 1818 and Robinson say, well, honor spiritual and moral values, he come and he give Manning the government because it was Panday before, you know what I mean? Right? So what I'm saying, now, as I have more experience and I look at this now, I tell myself that was something wrong. But at the time, I wanted that because, we supported the PNM. You understand? But now looking at the situation with Dr. Keith Rowley, he is totally a different kettle of fish from all leaders that I come across, So I know as a fellow who have experience now and looking at the outside world, how things has happened and leadership leading you, they could link it down to a habit if you look for to know what's going on. They could carry you down the drain. And looking at this leadership, what we have now, this is a type of leadership that want to lead in everything. For instance, you come, you move with the president, you take a woman out of the belly of the PNM, a former president of the Senate, and make that person president, and then knowing whether it's supposed to be an independent institution, You look at the miracle lifts, what they say that he did, where the members of the PSN had was the Police Service Commissioner was to resign. You're looking at this kind of system then. You're looking at something again, the EBC, where they say you take a party, member, niece or something, and make them chairman of the EBC. You're looking at the situation with even the police commissioner, somebody who resigned or reach resigning age already, but yet you're putting them and giving them a year extension. When you're looking at these things, you're seeing there's something wrong, even with the Integrity Commission, moving the chairman and putting somebody else. You're looking at how they deal with the president at the industrial court. The system have a lot to do with somebody holding on to something. And then you look at this carefully. Show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are. So looking at Mondoro, and you associating yourself with this man, and looking at what happened in Venezuela. So we had to look around everything to know what type of leader that we have here. And you could say simple thing. I'm not closing down Petrotrin. And if you happen to go in your fridge, and you didn't hear what I say it again, I'm not closing down Petrotrin. I'm going to close it down. And when you close it down now, you come and say, oh, Petrotrin was owing this money and that money and thing. And you're not saying to say, well, no, I really say I didn't close down Petrotrin. And brother, I'm sorry that I said that to the nation. And this is the reason why by so. You just go along like nothing. You never even say anything, You doesn't be holding yourself accountable for even the things that you say. Sometimes you come back, you say, no, if you give a black man a right fig, you call him a monkey. And all these things that be coming with the election. Look at local government reform for the property tax. Property tax coming without no local government reform. No, you're talking about constitutional reform because the election coming. But you're just saying things to just have we motivated to vote on something. And at the end of the day, we are getting nothing. Old age pension, 9 years, you give them nothing yet. But But how you could do all people that kind of thing? After gas price, all kind of thing going up, everything going up. I don't really understand what happened here. So, gentlemen, I just put in this week. When Monday come, I'll talk something different with all you. But I just want to listen to what all you have to say on these things. Thank you.
Very good contribution.
Yeah, firstly, Andy, he sounds like a man that is hurting and extremely disappointed. Extremely disappointed. And that is what is happening with the typical PNM sycophants and the apologists. And they go home and they see what that gentleman was brave enough to come on air and speak. Because let's face it, he has been indoctrinated into the PNM, whatever that is. It has morphed into, as we would like to say, a criminal enterprise, because at the end of the day, that is what he is saying. This Ponzi scheme or Ponzi political entity that Rowley has created. And now they are facing reality, and therefore the answer is clear that they have been duped, they have been fooled, they have been sacrificed, and now, of course, the time has come again for them to make a decision. And all of these will be churning in their minds as to whether or not to continue with this. And therefore, it is clear that this caller is saying in no uncertain terms that he has come to the zenith, the terminus of his tolerance with that kind of... Notice, he didn't mention Kamla Prasad Biseso or the UNC. And that is a big difference, because there are those who admire Rowley because of his rabble-rousing nature, because... And at the same time, showing a blind eye to those very things that the caller just said. And that is to say, to tell you one thing, do something different, and always to the people's detriment, but continues, of course, to take the fool further with another new idea that really and truly, by now, everybody should know it will manifest nothing in your interest. So therefore, to act like Rowley, some people are saying that Kamla Prasad Bisesa is so far, but you have to speak truth. And that is what's going to eventually set you free. So now the PNM has collapsed totally. That Ponzi scheme has, of course, been undermined and now in the process of, should I say, totally...
Call out the people and make some calls by the time. Because remember, I had to go.
Yeah.
I had to go.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Make your calls.
Make your calls. But I thought it was a vital... You see, I admire the callers and them now that we're in the final year. So many of them are calling. And don't be surprised, from Laventille, from Sealots, from Beetham, etc. They are calling Belmont, and I was totally surprised across the board that people are now awakening to this reality that the PNM is simply not what the leaders are making them out to be. And there are other factors, of course. But make your contribution, people. The lines are open. Andy, I don't think I have a copy of the list in front of me. Let me make sure and have a copy of the list of the numbers, and whether or not I have an updated one. So before you leave, you'll confirm with me on that one. Yeah.
It right in front of the screen. 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120, 239-5120. And after I leave, just send voice notes. No calls to WhatsApp. Just send the voice notes, and the voice notes will be played on the program one time.
Yes. Right. So we'll do that instead of focusing on the phone. But if you do, we'll have our technical people to, of course, convey it to either Mikey or myself. That's only for today. Andy has an engagement that is life-changing or life-impacting for his children, and he himself as a parent, and therefore must attend. I too will have mine, but it is not as urgent as his is, because of course many of the secondary schoolers or potential and new secondary schoolers have their orientation today. I know one in my own extended family having one today as well, and preparations have been made for that. So, so the lines are open. Make your calls, and we will, of course, entertain until Andy is ready to make his departure. He will announce the same, and please adhere to, at least for today, make as much voice calls as possible, leave voice notes as possible, as much, and we will play them during the course of the program until the usual time at 9. I'll have to cut off myself at 9 o'clock. I haven't given you, of course, what is officially the 3 hours that we have committed ourselves to on a daily basis. Today is, of course, a Friday. We have, of course, Independence tomorrow, and of course celebrations as well. Whilst of course we have not made it formal, but it would be nice if people would say, no, I'm not going out there to enjoy, where the government seem to want to provide you with an illusion that everything is honky-dory, and dealing with, of course, extraneous matters when simple things within their grasp to address that are significant, simple in terms of resources, but difficult in terms of concerns such as crime and criminality, home invasion, of course, book grants and so on that people have not yet received. I witnessed an incident yesterday where, of course, the check was made in the name of the child. Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead.
Good morning, LENNOX.
Good morning.
I've been calling a long time. I haven't got the chance to listen to it in a long time because I'm so busy. But I'll tell you this. I didn't want to let me pass on the valley there. And let me tell you, the roads is so deplorable.
Pity Valley?
Pity Valley,
side?
yes.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where John's Roti Shop and all of them is there.
Yeah.
And listen, I thought I was driving a whole big dump truck, because listen, the road is so terrible, and my car is a SUV, but it's a small SUV, and if you see how I was bumping going through that road,
wow,
I couldn't understand what is really going on in this place. And then I'm looking at Renuka Sagram saying all them on Facebook talking about St. Augustine and what they're coming to do. Oh, they're not coming to do nothing. I just want them to go, just leave, just pack up all the things, take all their shit and go. Leave Trinidad alone, leave us alone. We don't want all your rejecting all your little, see that? It's only the fools. It's who's saying yes to all your. I wouldn't like you to be a real to say yes to PNM boy. And the LENNOX have a good day, but it's sickening, boy. It's sickening.
Yeah, we say that you should be angry until you get to the, up until you get to the polls and do what you have to do. And after that, you could allay your anger. But be angry right through until you get a chance to say, get out by dipping your hand in that ink and, of course, putting your stamp against the UNC and say that is it for these vipers. Yes, you are right. And if you ask Raul why the situation is like that, he will tell you he was busy trying to save Trinidad by COVID. But go ahead, my friend. Go ahead, caller.
But what is that people get ready for 2025 election. And the only thing we can fight these people with is our fingers. Right? I am not for no riots and damn thing. I'm not for that. Because innocent people can lose their lives. But at the same time, we as Trinidadians need to get together and we need to come out and vote. And the naysayers who saying, oh, I'm on the defense and I don't want to vote. Oh, they have we suffering here too. I'm a middle class woman and just imagine I start to suffer. You understand? With a good job, well paid, and still suffering. It's like, what do you think? Why working so hard for money? Because everything is costly. Everything is high. It's sickening. It's sickening. It's just sickening. And Rowley is disgusting. You'll have a good day, sweetheart. And you'll be safe out there, right?
Thank you very much. Yes, be angry. That's all right. This is the place to be angry. It's right up until you cast your vote. After that, you could breathe a sigh of relief. Andy, in spite of that, didn't Imber tell us that inflation is very low in the last review and in the budget itself? Why would you now want to have a price commission, a price commission to look at prices of food in particular? Yeah, in today's article, if you look at the Guardian, you will see it. Cabinet appoints a committee to ease the food prices. But of course, we know it's gimmickry. We know his elections around the corner, and the ministry, Hossein, that's the minister, said that the cabinet appointed committee will be chaired by whosoever the fellow who is at NAMDEFCO, but 14 persons, I believe, has been appointed to this committee. But why would you, when you said that inflation has been so low and that prices are not going up, etc., and we have been saying, and everybody have been experiencing, that of course you pay one price yesterday, today you go back and you pay in a higher price, never a lower price, always a higher price, and sometimes by 5 and 6 and 25% in increase overnight. And here it is now, faced with the reality and having, of course, an election at hand. You're trying to appease, to fool people. Just get the hell out of office, man. All of this gimmickry will not suffice. It ain't even too much too late. It ain't even too little too late. It's just simply nothing. Nothing, Rowley. I understand that he is out of the country, Andy, Rowley.
Yeah. He going to do some medical checkup. He says some medical. So he won't be around for independence. Yeah, he's not around for independence.
Obviously, because he bumpsy palpitating. He knows that there is nothing, and of course, blue lights and silver bracelets await around the corner, above, below. He will be circumferenced by people waiting, of course, to have a piece of him in the courts, criminal and civil. That is what is going to happen for what he has done to the people over the last 9 years. Balize House must not be completed. It must be a lasting symbol of what ought not to be, and never again the PNM. That is what has to happen now in this country. And they have the audacity to play the screening for places that they're sure to lose. UNC constituency. You see them going mad? It's madness. People, of course, the lines are open. I have a list of the numbers here. 229-0251. Andy, you will confirm. 229-0251, 239-5120.
No.
Not that one? Right. That one should be what?
Yeah, that one there, not there again. So it's 225-6644.
Let me get that 225.
Yeah,
let me change that one time.
225-6644. 6644.
All right, 6644. Right. So 225-6644.
Right.
44, right?
239. Yeah. 225-6644 or 239-5120. Next one is 239-5120.
239. All right. So that's the mail one. That's the WhatsApp. A new WhatsApp. Is that?
Oh, that's the next line number.
Okay, let's go again.
Line number.
I have 229-0251. That's
right.
That's one right. And then 22, just listen to me. 225-6644.
Right.
And the next one.
And then just WhatsApp. And then the WhatsApp number, just send voice note to
366-3053.
Yeah, 366-3053.
Okay, good. So I have updated my information. We have to adapt and adjust as the circumstances change, and we have that flexibility and that capacity. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here right now for if it was for other persons who, of course, took a decision that would have impacted whether or not we are on air at all. And, of course, I want to thank all of those who came to the fore to, of course, assist in what we consider to be master control in getting the equipment and other necessities in order to have the program running in the way that we'd like. It's not perfect yet across the board, but certainly it's sufficient to keep people informed. And of course, if we weren't around, imagine those callers that called this morning, they would not have gotten, of course, a forum such as this to vent the realities of Trinidad and Tobago today. So once again, as I said for the last caller with respect to that Pity Valley horror story, as far as the road is concerned, I want to tell you, if you had put that to Dr. Rowley, well, why there are so many potholes on Pity Valley? You know what he would have told you, like how he told the nation? Well, he was too busy trying to save lives during COVID. 5,000 lives gone, a record for a country like this. But 5,000 lives gone, but he said he was too busy saving lives. So just imagine if he wasn't saving lives. And therefore he couldn't concentrate on potholes. So what he did, he invented, of course, a road repair unit. And I'm talking about over a year now. Well, and that is what you are getting. The man is totally blighted, incompetent, impotent, braggadocio, egotistic, self-serving, and of course, greed and the abuse of our financial and material resources knows no boundary with these people. Is a set of con men, con women doing con jobs on the people. This is a Ponzi political organization, and the Ponzi scheme has come to zero and has collapsed. We continue, of course, to take your calls. 229-0251, 229-0251, 225-6644, 225-6644, and of course, to leave us a note, which of course I expect will be the preferred medium to get to us when Andy would have made his departure. And that number to call, take a note, 366-3053, 366-3053. So we take your calls whilst Andy is in our service at this point. He will make his announcement, make his departure, and as we opened with concerns about the education system and the role of the denominational schools, I think we have made it very clear, and you would have had your own experiences as to why preference would have been for a denominational as opposed to a pure government managed school. The results and the comparison is chalk and cheese, almost perfect as far as the denominations are concerned, and much to be desired as far as governments are concerned. But again, that is what we have, and I urge parents to pay particular attention to your children when they're in school. Find ways and means to pop in, if impromptu, unexpectedly, just to find out how the child is doing. That goes a long way. My stint in the public sector education system always demonstrated that this approach by a parent usually bears a lot of fruit in the sense of discipline of that child, and of course their attention to work, and giving, of course, a fillip to the teachers, that of course they have support of the home, of the parents, because without that, when that is totally absent, you have children, of course, no matter what their age, whether they're in secondary or primary, and they can, of course, express themselves. You see them much more, should I say, non-responsive or less responsive to the material, to discipline, to the attitude to the teacher, the the system itself and certain disciplinary mechanism that is critical in teaching. It is called the affective qualities, whether it be good morning, whether it's say prayers, whether of course good afternoon, respect your elders, etc. All of those things are taught in the education system. But of course, in the first place that they will get an introduction to their society is in the home. The parents, whether it be single or the twin scenario, man and woman, but the fact of the matter is in the family, the first place of educating, of socialization is of course in the family. And then when they go out to the schools and the churches and so on, they get of course the ultimate, the boosting, so that they can confidently go out there and respond to other members of the society, no matter where they come from in the country, simply because everybody would have been socialized to the same discipline, right and wrong, ethics and other factors, including, of course, how you cry about yourself as far as personal hygiene and all of that. You get in the education system. So it should not be taken lightly, and it should be a very important element in any family's life and any individual's life, particularly when you have children or you are in charge of children, to make certain that they get the best and make use of the opportunity so that they can be the best Trinidad and Tobago can produce. We cannot afford a government such as this that is totally in itself delinquent, is not an exemplar, is not a role model. And Rowley, of course, as a prime minister, I mean, he's a devastating element of how you ought not to conduct yourself as a person, worse yet as a prime minister. The man has a Ponzi scheme of only criminals that have infiltrated our system and is the worst and the existential threat to Trinidad and Tobago, economically, socially, educationally, and we can go on and on. He and his minions are the cause of the disaster that is Trinidad and Tobago today, inexorably moving towards a failed state. If we as good people allow it to happen. We have an election coming. Those young people who have reached 18, you have a duty to save your country. And if next year you then turn 18 before the election is called, for sure, well, you have a duty to save your country and to save yourselves by, of course, making certain that we put people there who have demonstrated their tenacity for people-centered development and recognizing all and sundry, without exception, based on abilities and so on, once you get the opportunity to, of course, improve your circumstance and your capacity to contribute. Yes, indeed. Of course, don't forget the numbers to call. Andy, you're still there, right?
Mikey?
Caller.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
I'm hearing on the news this morning that a woman by the name of Marjorie Bishop,
Yes.
80 years old, was given the task to do the emblem for the coat of arms.
Yes, I read that as well, yes.
Right.
How old is she?
0 years old.
How much? I hear you good there.
0.
All right, go ahead. I ain't get it clear, but I'll get it. Go ahead.
LENNOX. Right. They already have a design that they keep showing all the time in the pan. I am hearing that design has already done, and I am hearing they pay the person $200 million.
Wow.
I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. That's why I'm hearing it now. That was not the news, but I'm hearing through the grapevine.
Yeah, through the grapevine.
That is
But these things are usually, like if you look in the United States and where you have these significant national important issues, it's usually done with a competitive kind of bidding arrangement, and the best design then is, of course, accepted, just as how the coat of arms originally came about, just as how there was a competition for the national anthem. That is what, but this fella, this prime minister, dogmatic, egotistic, self-serving, a total dictator. He believes he is to Trinidad what Maduro is to Venezuela. Well, that and a pink donkey he will never see, including Godface. But go ahead, my friend.
Lennox, another thing is, this man really caused so much of confusion. The man is a confusion maker because the devil is the author of confusion.
Yes, man.
That man, he's just the personification of the devil.
Yeah.
That man they call Robbie. And man, this man's so wicked, boy. You have to expect any wickedness and nothing good will ever come out from that wicked man. Secondly, Lennox.
Yes.
There is a woman called Gillian Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Gillian Bishop. Yes, that is the woman, right?
Yeah.
Then there's a next thing on the news this morning, a fellow they call Reverend Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
An Anglican man. You know how to call him because I have no respect for them. But he's an Anglican, just like the Prime Minister. I believe he's an Anglican. He was saying on the news that they should take in Venezuelan woman to join the force in Trinidad. How this PLM government like real woman show? And how this Reverend Bishop man, this devil, like how he could come up with a statement like that, boy? So when they wanted to take illegal immigrants in Trinidad and make them people of the forces of the national security in Trinidad, where these nasty men just come up from, boy? To be making such a wicked and confusing statement to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to know if he's related to Rowley, because Rowley, I hear he's an Anglican too. Oh God, boy. Hey, only confusion in this place, boy. Confusion in this place. I just want to add a little thing to the woman who was rolled over with the truck.
Yes.
I want to say it's a very unfortunate incident. Unfortunate because the light was on red and the woman was crossing, hoping that she would get across before the light turned on green. But the driver saw the light turn on green and he moved. He proceeded to go his own way. But I look at the way the woman. That is my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be right. I want to believe watching distance the woman was from the truck. If the driver was watching down, he could have seen the woman. I want to believe that. Right? If anybody else had an opinion.
She did stop. Before he did bong, she did stop,
Yeah.
Yeah, it stopped.
Yeah.
All right.
And then he continued going because, he realized he couldn't stop now.
The shims. All right.
Yeah, light turned green and he was going. Yes, whatever the situation, Lennox, it was very
unfortunate. I agree with you. Very unfortunate. Yeah. And our condolences collectively and individually goes out to the bereaved family. I know that was a absolutely untimely death, but these things happen, and we mourn for the loss. Just as how we have mourned for that child that was killed, 5 bullets, 5 years, expecting to go to school, at least the primary school, at the beginning of the term in next month. But that was unfortunate, including, of course, the father, notwithstanding the father, but certainly the child. There's a greater empathy and sympathy, whilst, of course, any loss of life, of course, is tragic and must be seen as that. Yes, indeed. Of course, we continue, of course, to take your calls. Thank you, caller, for that. Of course, I'm seeing the person now who the Prime Minister says, and let me just read that article. You'll tell me, technical person, if we have a call. The Prime Minister said artist Gillian Batiste has been asked to prepare renderings of the coat of arms from which Parliament will make a final decision. So it appears that she has to give all the examples. Bishop says she is honored to have been asked to carry out the task. Speaking at the post-cabinet media briefing at Whitehall on Wednesday, Dr. Rowley made the statement when asked who the contract would be awarded for the new coat of arms. It is not a contract, he says. It is an assignment. We have asked Gillian Bishop, eminent designer and artist, to look at it and give us some renderings, and the cabinet will choose the final position. I think we'll need it to as quickly as possible as we can get it. I don't know when she will complete theme, but we have well-known band designers and so on as well. I would have thought it would be a competitive thing, and then you, of course, selecting person a soul select contract. Of course, what he didn't say that it wasn't a contract. However, he said that it was an assignment, so he didn't say it was not a contract. So, of course, such an assignment with Rowley and being so cryptic or clandestine with such circumstance, and the, should I say, the awful use of our monies as he wished, as if it's his private parlor. No doubt we will hear of a bill later down the road of a couple, as the caller rightly said, may morphed into several millions, because that is how he operates. He believes that Trinidad and Tobago belongs to him, when I thought it would have been the PNM per se, but I think the members of the cabinet, being guided by Rowley, believe that somehow somebody leave Trinidad and Tobago for the PNM. And of course, the only person they could ascribe that position 2 would have been Eric Williams. Well, of course, I have asked, and I am sure that you are wondering as well, who left the Trinidad for Eric Williams so that he could pass it on to the PNM. And we saw, of course, only recently in this very exercise, while he used state resources to host a PNM consultation on constitutional reform, he just, of course, blindsidedly or by surprise, by ambush, presented that, and that issue, and that now becomes the national issue. But of course, we are not impressed, and we are not deviated from the realities that this is intended to camouflage, and that is crime, criminality, high food prices, etc. A pleasant good morning. Welcome. Make your contribution.
Calling number is 239-5120.
Yes.
239-5120 or 225-6644. 225-6644.
And of course, WhatsApp, if you can, we will play those voicemails in a while. 366-3053. 366-3053. That is where you deposit your voicemails, and of course we will play in this session. Andy is not with us, and therefore the availability of direct calls at this time may be a bit problematic, but not impossible. But we would prefer, of course, voicemails. Good morning.
Let us send the WhatsApp,
Yes.
And the WhatsApp voice. Send the WhatsApp voice notes, and I will send it to the studio, and it will be played. So
okay, good, great.
While I'm doing what I have to do,
yes. Thank you for keeping in tune. The technology is such, people, even though it may not be perfect. All right, go ahead, caller. We have a caller there.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Go ahead.
Ricky, good morning.
Yes.
Andy, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Laukata, good morning. Belman, good morning. Mikey, right?
Yes.
Good morning, Miss Sanjay, Miss Bulbu, good morning, Miss Santaku, good morning, Mr. Rima, good morning. Malcolm X, good morning to you all. My contribution this morning, Mr. Gentleman, always time enough for you to do what you have to do. Right? Mr. LENNOX, you
Yes.
one of the man who be supposed to be leading the crowd. LENNOX, let's forward Mikey. What it is we really doing? Andy, or to come out and maybe do what you have to do. Otherwise, this is going to go in and mess with these people and them, you know. You see this man going to change this with the family, it's all up 3-4 people will just suffer. Or just come out and let's do what you have to do. A begging and a begging and a pleading. Everybody who's talking on the program, all let me come out. I know Miss Woodbrook, Miss Santa Cruz, Malcolm, all of you all come out. I'm begging all you. Enough is enough. Because otherwise be no man's land.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We have another call. And I'll take the liberty, of course, to ask the people in what I consider to be totally downtrodden communities along the east-west corridor in particular, from Diego Martin right up to the Laventilles in particular. Laventil, of course, would mean Beetham, Silats, Chumakak, Movant, of course, Laventil on the Hill, East Port of Spain. Let us hear from you, and what is your perspective, and whether or not you will continue, of course, to see this level of decadence surrounding you, enveloping you, engulfing you, and you will continue, of course, to talk about nice things about the PNM. We want to know. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning. I love it, man. Yes, good. Go ahead.
Yes, man. Good morning to Cuff. Good morning to Andy. Good morning to Matty K. And good morning to the listeners on We Media, TV, and all other social media but linked to We Media, TV. And I see an article what concerned me, and I hear a statement about the Prime Minister. And I'm very concerned about that. He has to tell citizens, hold killers responsible for the action. Do not blame me.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That make it social media. That more popular than the emblem change. But go ahead.
Yes. And again, Prime Minister tells citizens, hold killers responsible for the action. Do not blame me. And last minute, I cannot blame the Prime Minister for a young boy who took up the gun and go and kill somebody. But what I will blame the Prime Minister for is after 9 years, is in having a crime plan, in having a crime policy. I could blame him for that. Because having a crime plan and a crime policy and having a drastic laws, the criminals were afraid to pick up a gun. But after 9 years, Dr. Rowley tells us that he has no crime plan. Fisher Hines tells us that his responsibility is not to secure till soon. And I am very concerned that a Prime Minister of this country is seen that don't blame him for crime. Oh, no, we're not blaming him for crime. We can't blame him for a man who gone kill somebody. But what is the crime policy? What is the crime plan? Is the first Prime Minister waiting for the police to bring some crime plan for he to read it and say, okay, Commissioner, go ahead. Yes, the police have to come up with things too. But the government, the Minister of National Security must bring a crime plan, must bring policy to bring laws, drastic laws that could put the criminals under pressure. And to do that, After 9 years, they have no crime plan. He said, oh, God will blame me. But if you have no crime plan, what do you expect the people to do? Not to blame you? Because, like, you know, let me remember Dr. Rowley, an opposition leader. He told us he was going to fix crime. That was the number one campaign for the PNM. For the PNM. And to see, after 9 years, he telling the public, don't blame the government, don't blame the criminals, blame the mothers in the house, blame the fathers in the house. But what's your policy? What is your crime plan? Because that's from Eric Williams, he had a crime plan. Chambers had a crime plan. Robinson had a crime plan. Rajo Pandey had a crime plan. Kamala Posai had a crime plan. And are there anyone, Mr. Kingsley, no? These 5 prime ministers never have a crime plan. They was like Dr. Rowley waiting for the police service to give you some plan crime. So he as the minister read it and say, okay, Commissioner, go ahead with that. Because the Commissioner can come just so and make no policies. She's not a member of the government to make no policies. She's to carry out the government policies. Same if the judges can't make no policies, they can't go law. So if the judge could get let's say points on your ticket. No, if the government say give your points and that is the law. That is the law. So if I waiting for the police to make, because we never vote for the police to be in parliament to make, you see now we have common sense. They have to have common sense with book sense. They can't just have book sense alone. Because when they have book sense alone, they think like Dr. Rowley, stupid, ignorant, and foolish. They think like when you have book sense alone, when you have common sense, they understand. Because Dr. Rowley tell this country, he come rich. He come here to empower the rich. So the rich can help the African community. I'm an activist in my community in Trinidad and Tobago, and I go in front of the bridge, and ask for donation by them big stores and them in town, and them big stores in town. And they do not give them nothing. Anybody from behind the bridge, when they go in front of the bridge, a donation by these people making millions from the hills. Black fighters football, black fighters book bag. They do not give them nothing. So when Dr. Rowley tell the African community that he come there to empower the rich, so the rich will help the African community, you think we're stupid? You think we're foolish? We know the agenda. We know you're saying it's a slave catcher. We know you are a slave catcher. We know. It's so sad. It's so sad and evil to see Dr. Rowley all over this country. All of them again. 9 years. 9 years, Dr. Rowley in power. What he do to bring in revenue in this country? Under Patrick Manning, not today, not quite a world class, where the world has come and perform. We are the class where we bring in foreign reserves, make our economy big again, and the highest. I like to say, we have to come up with something, Mr. Sir, a world class hospital, a world class psychology, and many other things. Kamala leave there. She have a legacy that the people can use for the next 40, 50 years, 60 years, and we can see it. Here's the legacy. His wife, Dr. Rowley's wife, tell us that when he gets angry and vexed at home, he has to go at the painting and watch the painting to keep him calm. $3 million Dr. Robbie take tax people money and build and repair them castles, I call it castles. Them castles around the savannah where and people were slaves and beaten. My ancestors and them were slaves and beaten to that day. And we couldn't go in it. We couldn't go in it. So Alfred was instructed by his masters, by his white masters, to make sure and keep this castle up to standard. We witness it now. We witness an evil black man in this country. Come and tell us he is not going to close down Petrin, where African 90% of the African community was working there. He take away the work from the African community and he gave the Venezuelans. He opened the borders to get the yeah, man, let's see that. They're coming down on the senior.
Again.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, King. See how much time do we have again?
I'm going to again. Again. He coming through on the senior person and them, right? And Dr. Rowdy allow these Venezuelans to come in our country and free. So you put in pressure on the senior citizens who getting a grant, a pension, and say that here, some of them deserve it. But some of the Venezuelans who come in here, getting free food, working for free, paying tax, them deserve it. I will send Donald Cox and Dr. Rowdy take away your face and push it up with the money pretty much. Thank you very much. It's just be shame.
Yes,
Thank
man.
you.
We have another call. Don't forget, of course, the numbers to call people. 229-0251. But we prefer, of course, you give your text talk so that we can play it. Do you want technician? Do you want to look at the text and see whether or not it's time to play some of them? Because we have asked them during this period of the absence of Andy to do. To send in their text notes so that we can play them, voice notes as the case may be. But you want to do that now instead of taking a call, or we have a call? All right. So in the meantime, I will take my cue from any voice that I would have heard. I will take my cue, but only to say that I share the view of the last caller. Clearly, what is happening? We have okay. We have a call. Good morning.
No, voice note.
All right, go ahead. Okay, people will be playing voice notes now, but Rowley and they seem to be in cognitive and intellectual decline.
Good morning, Andy, Lennox, Mikey, Newbie, and to everybody out there. He disguised the job as an assignment because he not speaking to us, the intelligent people, He talking to the crayfish posse. We know that is going to run into millions. She's Pat Bishop's sister. We all know they're PNMites. But I want to find out if a tender was sent out. And what happened to the procurement legislature? What happened to that person? They left the job, they sleeping on the job. That they did that without tendering. And talking BS about an assignment. We really look stupid for that man.
Good morning to the Ground Report and the Ground Report family. My contribution is there's a place in Africa called the Sahara Gideon where the PNM and all the followers, which means 21 members of parliament should go there and die because elephant go there and die when the time reach. Good morning to the ground report and family. There is a place in Africa called the Sahara Gideon where elephants go to die. The 21 members of parliament should go there and die, which means also King Kakahol.
Andy, Lennox, Mikey, morning. Good morning also to Trent and good morning to all those who are in chat. Andy, man, I know looking at on social media and it seems like the Prime Minister seems to be looking to go away from medical attention. But I want to say this. So the medical facilities in Trinidad and Tobago is not good enough for the Prime Minister and for and for those that are in government. But good enough for the average citizen. Well, courage. Because usually, as far as I get to understand, you go in the hospital these days and all you get is to Panadol and behave yourself. You understand why I want to say fire burn this wicked evil PNMS? And it's that because the medical services in this country, is for the average citizen, is just that you go there and you see the state of the health services in this country. But those in office could fly out to go and get medical attention. God bless.
Andy, good morning. Andy, this is a serious thing that is happening in this country right now. It has been raised. Dr. Rowley had baited it to the population, and the population went for it hook, line, and sinker, because all the topic now is about race, about Dantal on the coat of arms, about harmonica on the coat of arms, about steel pan, about African drums on the coat of arms, and Rowley laughing like the boboli he is at all of we. The other day when he changed the African Day to some, I don't recall too much about it, but the same thing happened, and the same thing is happening now. All thing in it. And let me tell you, Andy, I have met you. I don't know if you recall me, but I was in several of your marches when you went by Works Minister, when we went by the library, and in the Woodford Square. I don't know if you remember when Mikey know me very well, right? And things. But I am a person, I don't see people as for their color, for their ugliness, for their prettiness or whatever. I see people as people, and you talk to me as people, and I will talk to you as people. You treat me as people, and I will treat you as people. Right? That being said, Andy, you know what Rowley threw out there, and what is coming out in the public is what the true thinking of the average, not all, the average Trinidad and Tobagonian that is walking the streets of let me say San Fernando and Arima, Port of Spain, or even the country areas. What the mentality that is happening in their mind. And listen, as a East Indian, right? I walking up on system, right? This strong African guy, right? He walking about 3/4 of the pavement, a narrow pavement, right? And this man, for me, I almost, this man ain't giving no way of trying to squeeze in to a meter pass on the pavement, this man walking more on the whole pavement than just try to squeeze me on the pavement, right? I jump off and say, where's that one, bud? You know what he turned and asked me? So you could do something about it. You always slap you in your face or what? That is what. And this is the hate that is going on in Trinidad and Tobago presently. And what Dr. Rowley brought up there, that only add fuel to the fire of these kind of hate. Listen, people go fit to say we are a diverse culture and all this kind of thing, and we live in harmony. And it is bull tata. Right now, that is bull tata or hog tata, right? There's nothing like that, right? You could see it all around. There was hate, and there is hate. Patrick Manning, I sent you the clip with Patrick Manning about Dr. Rowley, and it's Dr. Rowley who is spitting the hate that is resonating, the hate in amongst the people in this country, right? And I don't know if he feel good when how all the radio talk show programs is going on, and it's only hate. This one saying but race and the white man bring down the teaching to the Africans and the Indian, and them them is false religion, them is thing idol and all this kind of stupidness, right? That is what's going on in Trinidad right now. When on the other hand, all we roads bad, we health center bad, every infrastructure in Trinidad is bad. So Rowley know what he doing, what he does, and he did that to focus people to lose focus on those aspects of governance and study the race. Okay.
You have any comments, Lennox? We have one more for.
Okay. Well, don't forget, people, the number to leave your voice notes or mails at is 366 3053. 3663053. Well, of course, the comments that are being made now, and from time immemorial, we have been saying that wherever we would have been and had the opportunity to interact with the population, has always been one of extreme focus on the inability of this administration to manage the affairs of Trinidad and Tobago. And while, of course, some may say it is late, some may say that why are we engaging so intensively at this time? Well, the answer is obvious. There is a looming elections. We are in the fifth year of the cycle. So that's the first instance. The second instance is that more people, or should I put it another way, some people take longer than others to, of course, come to facts and reality. But at the end of the day, there is no better time than now, because it is simply, in my view, not too late, having regard to the fact that elections is not yet called and that the people must now have to make a decision that is in our best interest. We have been saying that on the Grount Report and the various other platforms that we have created specifically to promote and to deliver all of these realities that more and more people are coming on board. In fact, I want to say that it appears now, from my perspective, that the sycophants and the apologists and those who are diehard and, of course, are willing to commit suicide with this administration, they are now nearing, if not already extinct. And, of course, the PNM itself, I expect, coming out of this experience, because we are not going to relent, we are not going to stop, even though they would have been in opposition, because we expect them to be in opposition, drastically reduced, of course, but nonetheless there, and we try to do like what the minority leader is doing in Tobago now, having some bouts of self-righteous indignation, as if they are immune to, of course, making poor decisions, corruption, nepotism, and cronyism. We will be there to tell the PNM that it must now understand that it must now relegate itself spontaneously or voluntarily to the dustbin of history, or we, the people, will have them go there, because there could be no change. They are set in their ways. We have seen that from Manning. We have seen that more so from this administration. And we don't know what kind of character will emerge on the next occasion. What we know that is common is that they believe that somehow Trinidad and Tobago belongs to this criminal enterprise, this Ponzi scheme that Rowley has created, that has now collapsed and will not want, of course, to go where it is expected, and that is to say, in eternal damnation. So that's the comment I would want to make. Don't forget, people, of course, your voicemail. Send them. We, from time to time, if necessary, we will pause to take a call or two. But as we had adjusted the format in the absence of Andy, to, of course, look at your your voicemails, and the number to get that to is 366-3053. 366-3053, and if you are so inclined and impulsive, then, or you weren't aware, then of course we will take your call from 229-0251, 229-0251, and 225-6644, 225-6644. Right? So the lines are the line is open for such callers. If not, of course, technician, we will take some further voice notes if they are available. Just give me some kind of indication. If not, of course, I'll continue to engage in my monologue since I'm unable to, of course, converse with Andy and or await the arrival and the interjection of Mikey. In the meantime, of course, there are several issues that must be brought to the front burner. No way, people, must we be lured by Dr. Rowley's shenanigans. He left the country, and even in those circumstances, one has to question, because the caller is correct, why it is that you couldn't stay here and get treatment at this crucial time in the country. But no. But don't be surprised if he is negotiating to, of course, live the rest of his life outside of Trinidad and Tobago, looking for asylum somewhere, because as certain as night give way to day and vice versa, Dr. Rowley and his cabinet will be called upon, criminally and civilly, to account for the last 9 years that they have put Trinidad and Tobago through the trauma, the drudgery, the evil, the pain, the ache, the agony, and, of course, the debilitation that has created a drastic reduction, not only in the middle class, but also, of course, in the quality of life and standard of living of citizens in this country across the board. Yes, indeed. Of course. Yes, we have a caller. We have a caller. Go ahead, caller.
We have a caller.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Wanted to find out something from you.
Yes, go ahead.
The Concord Act, and we pay for that for the schools, taxpayers.
The what? The what? I didn't hear you clearly. Technician, could I get some help? What did he say?
What I wanted to find out is schools like KRC and Fatima and Chefs and all those schools.
Yes.
What could have happened when those schools and is being run under the Concord Act, and they have schools from England and Spain and all about. What will happen to them?
Oh, well, those schools have been part and parcel of the concordat, because they were either Catholic or, well, the two different types of Catholic in the country, whether Roman Catholic or English Catholic. So but they have been funded since that time by the government, even though they retain some administrative control in terms of the religious aspect of it. But by and large, these schools are funded by government and has been so since then.
Yeah, see, with that kind of dedication from those schools to our children.
Boy, again, difficulty, boy. You're breaking up on this side. I don't know what is happening. So I'm not getting you total.
Yeah, call back and see. It may be in my work.
Okay. All right. So caller, you could call back and articulate what you're attempting to glean from this intervention. All right. So we have another call.
Yeah, we have some voice notes.
Okay, let's go there. Let's go there because this period we said that we'll focus there, even though we'll take intermittently some direct calls. So go ahead.
Good morning, Andy for Grandy LENNOX from Report Family. At least there is one PNM supporter that ain't suffering from SSS, suffering in silence syndrome. The other 300,000 of them suffering in silence syndrome. Right through. They don't care. Them rather see the police going to the dogs than to vote out the party that doing nothing for them and give them hardship. Remember like Pharaoh and the Israelites. You give them thunder and they still wanted to go back there. Have a good day, and then
Andy, Mighty K. Leonard Smith, Trinidad and Tobago, Central here. Good morning. Andy, concerning about the situation where the woman who got rolled over with the truck, it is very, very sad. Yes, it's very, very sad. But Andy, now that videos are out circulating on social media, right? Yes, accidents do meant to happen, right? But people look at that video carefully, right? They're saying that the driver couldn't see XYZ. Nobody had casting no blame on nobody here, right? As we said, accident meant to happen, right? Where people are supposed to avoid this type of accident, I should say then, right? If you look at the angle that this woman was coming from, although this man up high, the woman was coming straight out from the bank side, right? Heading across because she saw the light was on red, hoping that she could have reached across on the other side before it turned back green, right? If you look carefully, for that man saying that he didn't saw that woman, it is articulate saying. Reason being take, if you all look at it carefully, the first mashy mash, he put her brakes instant. The woman was in the middle on front of the truck at that point in time, right? Because she telling herself, well, he saw me coming across, right? He now did not wait to see if you see the woman passed out in the front of him. And if you notice on his side, which is on the right-hand side, corner of the front of the truck, is what hit her. And when she get hit, that first hit, is when she fall to the ground, and that is when he mash up the second time. And that is when she get pick up. People look at the video carefully. Because apparently maybe we're saying whatever otherwise. But videos out now, circulating, proving that the first mash he mash off to go, he make a sudden stop. And when he realized now, and he telling himself, he probably was suggesting that the woman crossed out in front of the truck already, heading to go across on the other side. That is when the woman get picked up from in the corner of the right-hand side of the truck, and that is what hit her the second time when he mash up. So she fell to the ground, and that is when she get picked up and he rolled over her from there. You understand? So there are consequences still to stand, and people need to look at things carefully and understand properly. You understand? It is very sad. Accident meant to happen, but at the end of the day, the thing about it is, that man, if he was paying attention properly, he would have seen that woman, you know, haven't crossed us yet, but yes, I'm not saying that she was not close in front of the truck, but that first mashy mash was an instant brakes, proving that he saw something there, because when you mash off and you see that light go, a truck go jerk first, it will mash off and go full head. You understand? So the man did so because he did mash the brakes. Look at the video carefully. That was his first mash off. And when he realized now somebody is crossing there, hoping that she probably crossed already in front of him, that's when he mash off again and he realized now that she didn't bounce down. You understand? So people look at the video carefully. And coming back to this dirty PNM government, we ask you, please to call a date and time. We fed up are you all blockheaded can't run our country people. Please call a date and time in this country. People want to get rid of all their once and for all and send all the 10 million, zillion feet down in the ground and be the end results of you all. It mustn't be no more PNM. You understand? It's very frustrating to have PNM are wrong and they continue doing what they want and they're getting away with it. So the full stop is with this. Get rid of PNM once and for all. Begonian people, let us come together, unite, and get rid of these people and then politically. Right? Send them 6 feet politically, and they will understand the people. Action is louder than words right now. You see, they're talking, they're protesting, but when that date and time come, action will be proven. We want no more of PNM. Andy locked on and listening, and it's that.
Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you so much, Lennox.
That's it?
We have a call.
That's it, or we have another one?
We have a call on the
We have a call. All right,
comments.
okay. We'll pause with the notes in order to accommodate the call. So go ahead, caller. Welcome.
On that trailer truck. Those drivers on that truck get away with all sort of things. The police are on the road with the speeds and are not basically following the traffic rules. And the CCPS allows that to happen. Because if you go on the URI but way south, north, you will see how they're driving. They intimidate you on the road. They're going, those kind of things. They develop a culture of police and those things are allowed because they are not kept in the box by the police. And that is where I'm going now. And we're going to talk about independence and governance. And where we are now, we had 2 formal constitutions was done by the PNM for the PNM. If you look at the very first one, the days of Eric William, when we were negotiating, inside here, because the opposition at that point in time wanted independence in the commissions that we have now. And ATR wants to mash it up. Why? The 1976 commission, the revised one, was also a PNM constitution because ANR outsmarted the opposition. There was a no vote, and Eric Williams bought a feeling and he changed constitution to suit the PNM staying in power. And look what you had the other day. You had PNM thing there, based on ECR, change the constitution again for his benefit and for the PNM benefit and for the gospel of the PNM to continue to intimidate us, frustrate us, and empty the treasury. Okay. Things I have seen with the CTPS. Do what happened. I want the Prime Minister have to say with respect to the shooting. And then action that will do there. I want to know if he is putting in political ring to be appointed as a chairman of a PNM board somewhere. Because can he only look at a list of the Prime Minister concerned because the Prime Minister told the police under the bus for all the time, he say he's not responsible. It's the people, he's responsible for putting the people who's supposed to bring down crime and like police service. So we have to get rid of people and we have to, I've always said, we have to hold yes and transform it and change it. We have a situation that we most likely will have a new Prime Minister. And I want people to remember during the time. Somebody planted marijuana when she was abroad. And we had a Minister of National Security at that point in time, and we had a security advisor. The security advisor eventually became police commissioner. He played up for it. But 10 people was involved. Apparently they interviewed, and they are all nobody. Police, gardeners, all kind of things.
So that investigation again shows where the police could be complicit. And remember the history of Sarikat and all these things that the police are afraid to do. And coming to the real governance issue. We have two big cases in the Privy Council, and we have heard nothing about it. Nobody pushing it. And I'm asking aloud. The Master Caesar issue, why are we not pushing for the Privy Council to hear that? Because I'm not too sure if taxpayers' money is paying her as a judge, because the last time when she just said the CPA was awfully wrong, they are feeling in the council that more taxpayers' money has to go there. So that is another form of governance. Your head of your judiciary is under question, and you have three of these two things just say, here what we call, and the running, the thing is wrong. And we still are feeling that. The other thing that is doing, you remember now, celebrating you see what kind of thing? The affidavit that the government filed say AG was wrong to do that in indemnity. You mean if you put an affidavit in court saying that the AG wrong, the police say hold that AG and hold him under the ban. Question. So the police service is compromised head sentencing, and we have to transform it. And that is where governance is all about. We go and celebrate independence, and you have a political party trying to match up all the independent institutions. You have them just giving a report, and the two major things is one is proportional, and you show that aside. When you choose the committee, did he make special? There's the opposition to put two people or three people from the opposition to show that they really basically what constitutional reform, and they will get half of the population, the other half buying into it. Because your former committee with only 300 people, somebody will say, okay, no, they had Ahmed Ghani. But we only understand Ahmed Ghani father was a PLM MP. So the DNA and all things, and I know the father of the country and God, it's something more. He can't say nothing. There's nothing responsibility. So I'm on with her. Once it happens, if I'm on with her, I go have a nice corner.
Thank you so much, caller. I see Mike K joined us. So, I just want to say good morning to Mike K as well.
We have a call? All right. Good morning.
Good morning. Loud and clear?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear, my friend.
All right.
Yes,
good morning,
indeed.
gentlemen. Yes, Andy Pitbull Williams, wherever you are. Cuff, good morning to you. Lennox Smith, and to everyone locked on. Share alive. It's about being alive. And don't forget the deadline to purge yourself of pettiness and trivial issues and to deflate your ego a bit and put aside all that pride. That expires on Saturday, this Saturday at midnight, because come Sunday, September 1st, you already know it by now, the political leader of the United National Congress and the opposition leader of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, has put the UNC on election footing, general election footing. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for the country? And of course, what does that mean for our future and to dealing with all these issues? We'll be discussing that, of course, from Monday, and we may have a special program on Sunday as it's the first. But what does it mean to you? Are we going to just be getting a lot of chatter after this? People still talking, still in their comfort zone, still can't decide, still making excuses, still being apologetic for all this nonsense that Rowley and his team has put us through, this taxing, lying, thieving, baby killing government. Tell us, what does that mean? So you have until midnight Saturday. Who don't like who, and who does talk too long, and who does take up too much time, who feel to know everything, and I ain't get no phone, I ain't get no phone card, I was supposed to get a cold roti, the chubby I get wasn't hot enough, this one talking about me, and that one talking about me, and it's them say and they say and shoo. You have until midnight Saturday to get that out your system. That is not going to bring victory for us. That is not going to help and create a UNC voter. That is not going to benefit the country. That is not going to help us to get rid of Rowley, this cancer. So you have until midnight Saturday to purge yourself of all of that nonsense, that social, political, toxic nonsense in your system. Because right now, many of you, your political gut is rotting. Your political gut is rotting. So take some of that political centerport and get yourself back on track. You have until midnight Saturday. You were saying something?
Well, of course, they have the option of castor oil as well, whichever. But that catharsis must take place, and I agree with you implicitly, my friend. I saw a Newsday article today that speaks of whether or not the UNC is ready, and I was taken aback because they mentioned, of course, that the PNM is screening for UNC-held constituencies, and I emphasize UNC-held constituencies, so not their own. But of course, nothing about the fact that Kamala Persad-Bissessar, only on Monday gone, talked about the readiness of a draft, manifesto. So that speaks volumes in itself of the level of readiness of the UNC. But of course, the article conveniently left out that fact that the UNC clearly has ready there. And more than that, they were out of the box even before by calling for what? For nominations. And of course, I know our very own Andy, we assisted, of course, in him getting those nomination papers in. So to say that questioning whether the UNC would have been ready and somehow may be caught with their pants down, I think is wishful thinking that has no place in the reality as far as the readiness of the UNC is concerned. What's your view, Mikey?
My view is this. I mean, I know sometimes people talk just for the fact that they're able to. And I listened to Foster Cummings and people from the PNM making statements that the PNM is looking for some of their best to put in these UNC constituencies. So does that mean you placed your worst in the constituencies that you now hold? Because that tells us a lot about Laventille West, Laventille East, Mova, Sealot, Port of Spain. So it tells us quite well what you mean. Because you have to put your best, because UNC understands what delivering to the people, serving the people, and representing the people is all about. Now you've come to this fact that you need to put your best in UNC constituencies. So all you've been throwing is the little ragamuffins or wherever you want to put them. Is that your saying? So, you really can't take them serious. You really can't. The fact of the matter is, get all of that, all the things that easily distract you, all things that they use to deflect, and this little shiny toy and pixie dust. Please, until Saturday midnight, purge your gut of that. Purge your psyche of that. Stop crying. Leave the crying for the babies now. Some of the big hardback men and women, leave the crying for the babies. If you have a problem with this train, you just jump off. But the train has left the station. And when I say jump off, we ain't stopping fear. You just had to talk roll and hopefully you land safely wherever you land. It don't care where you land, as long as you jump off, because if you are not an asset, you are a liability. And we're sick and tired of that. Every day somebody just coming with negative. They should think the OS and who weak and who this. Woman, go and set your damn flags and hush your mouth now, man. People sick and tired of you. Sick and tired of you. The worst thing, come on, man, is day and night you going like you're possessed. Somebody put you so or what? Go on some flags and hush your mouth. People have business to do. Hey, Cuff, let's take some calls, man.
Yes,
we are coming up September 1st, Sunday, the political leader of the United National Congress and the opposition leader of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago has placed the UNC on election footing come September, which we usher in on Sunday. What does that mean for you? How are you going to participate? Every morning, are you going to wake up with one objective, and one objective only is to create UNC voters? It's not about this. Yes, we know the food prices high. We know that. We know the infrastructure bad. We know the whole education system in a mess. We know healthcare has gone to the dogs. But what you're going to do? Morning, sir. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mikey.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, go ahead.
Morning, Mikey. Suffering to you this morning. Glad to hear your voice this morning. Mikey, every time
Yes.
you're going to come and talking. Let me get outside and do something. I know you're capable. I know Lennox capable. I know everybody capable. Only talk on your radio station. Let me come out and do what we have to do and get rid of this PNM government. Thank you very much, Mikey, this morning. Bless you this morning, my brother.
Don't forget the numbers to call 229-0251. 229-0251 for the calls. 225-6644, 225-6644, and your email notes. Well, of course, sorry, your WhatsApp notes. 366-3053. 366-3053. And Mikey, your assessment of the situation is so right, but I must add that the best that the PNM can conjure up never succeeds in these constituencies. The history will show. But you're quite right. So therefore it means that those mediocres that they put in where they dominate, they may not last as long as the Red House fire, all things being equal. Yeah.
And why put your best there when you know that the people there are willing to accept anything? But you have to come into the UNC constituencies if you expect to make inroads with your best. You know, your prime, little prime, your best above board. Yeah. But when it comes to your constituencies, where they're crying out that they're still using latrine, and where they're crying out that they can't get good water and unemployment and all of that, you don't need to put your best there because you know they're willing to accept anything. So we are fooling with that.
Yeah, because one of your pride candidates saying, of course, he will go back to Coal Pot and he will ride a bike to work. I mean, that kind of mamagism that they will think, but they themselves are not practicing that. Yeah.
No, but I sympathize with that guy, really and truly. I sympathize with him. Anybody that would throw themselves on a PNM grenade just to do what? To impress your leader? I mean, who's on the outside? A cuff who we have? Morning, Trinidad.
And if we have some voicemails, we'll take that as well.
664 or 239-5120. Call those numbers.
Hey, and let me say good morning to Tobago, Silver Fox, Mother Bernie, Mr. Bago. Hey, let me tell you, Silver is a fella. He talks from the heart. You know, he's a man, when he makes contributions, it's powerful contribution. And he's not a gamester. I can tell you that for a fact. He is not a gamester. So sometimes things he may say may be misinterpreted, but he is not our enemy. He is not someone who is simply just standing by and not championing the cause. So give him that respect. Silver, morning to you, Mother Bernie.
Total
Mr.
respect.
Bago.
Total respect.
Total respect to
Yes,
this
total,
man.
yes.
Silver, morning to you. Who's on the outside?
Dial those numbers and send those WhatsApp voice notes.
Yes.
Morning. Yes, to our CARICOM brothers and sisters locked on, those in Grenada, those out there in Antigua,
So, Mikey,
all across the region.
Dr. Bowery is out of the country.
Well, why shouldn't he be? Why should he be out of the country?
And
Who wants to stay here
ostensibly
with all
for
that
medical
going on?
purposes. Medical purposes has all of the shenanigans that he has been engaged in and implemented in Trinidad has turned out to be cancerous and toxic for him, that he had to go and detoxicate. I don't know. Asking you.
Oh, you're telling me Minister can't go in a different country and go for medical services?
Well, of course he could go for medical services. There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of the job. But the fact of the matter here, Cuff, you must also look at the trend. When you work in a company and you know somebody you might be getting fired soon, you want to make sure and take all your benefits and take advantage of them. That dental, you might be able to get that after you leave the work, or they kick you out. That medical, you might be able to access that when you kick you out. So whatever work you have to do, let me do it quick because they go honor my policies. Because I go in and I know I go in, the writing on the wall.
Palpitations galore. Yes. That is what that is what is happening here. They are intimidated. They are afraid. And I mean, and you could see them as if they're in some kind of mental and cognitive and intellectual decline. They're talking nonsense. Imagine this man saying, still at this time, after he introduced crime as a what? As a public health issue. One would have thought you would have had some objective solution to the problem. You are now saying that it's the criminals themselves who are responsible and not you. I mean, it's just ludicrous.
The lines are open. The lines are open, folks. Get on the inside. Yes, the 1st of September is on Sunday, and you know that the UNC is going to be set and ready on election footing. We want to hear on a daily basis what is going on, where the power walks, what's happening, who's on the ground. It's all about being on the trail. That's what it takes every day when you wake up. Forget about the pettiness and who don't like you. Listen, when people run their mouth, you run your business, man. And we have business to run. We either standing on TNT's business or we're going to lay down in the PNM mess. That is the choice that we have. It's quite simple. Stand on Trinidad and Tobago's business or lay down in the PNM mess. Can you afford that stench? Can you afford to roll in that mud for another 5 years? Can you even afford to even think about what this country would be if they're given another 5 years? That is the reality. It's not who call and talking too long and who feel they know everything and who weak and something wrong with these people and attacking ethnicities and all your racial nonsense. We don't have time for that. We do not have time for that. You stay home, take off the lights, play whatever you have to play, whether it be yourself or not, and you stay right there in that zone. Somebody will get to you with that Thorazine. Some good neighbor will bring a straight jacket for you. But we have business to do. That is what it's all about.
The Ponzi scheme has collapsed. Rowley, the Ponzi scheme has collapsed. The political Ponzi scheme. Good morning. We have a caller. But Mikey,
yeah, we have somebody.
We have somebody. Okay.
Go ahead, caller.
Okay, very well. This is Marva. Right?
Hey, what's up?
A number of things here. One, when you're looking at what is going on, what has been going on for the past 10 years. I live in Marva. Marva is pothole central right now. Right? Yeah, it's like, I don't know if you all know about a video game they call Mario Kart, where you have to keep dodging obstacles and so on. That is how you have to drive in Marva. Right? And we have, you know, who is our MP? The anti-gun. Right? And for whatever reason, people keep voting this anti-gun all the time to commit to come and mash up the place. But what I was made to understand, he uses intimidatory tactics. Right? I have evidence of that. Right? A couple of elections back when Joe Perez was running for on this side, they actually came, and one of my relatives was working in the UNC office. And he actually had to hide because he was the last person to lock up, because he was living close to the office. He actually had to hide under the desk in the office and turn off all the lights when the vandals came, because they mash up everything, they vandalize, spray paint, all kind of things. There are guys when they had put they had paint the bullet hole in the middle of Joe Perez's forehead on the billboard. Right? This is the kind of tactics that this gentleman uses. Apparently, he's worked up places like Paramount and so on, and get them fellas drunk with rum and whatever it is, and then let them come down the road and do the dirty work. That is the kind of person that we have representing in Diego Martin Northeast. Right? That is the kind of person that Mr. Tax still here dead. That's the person that they want up here. Now, I have never subscribed to the red faction, I will call it that. But I just basically have one thing to say, right? It's something that I have told Andy some time back, right? Right now, the election is the PNM is going beyond the elections. What they're doing right now is trying to install their people at the heads of the various ministries and departments and divisions. Right now, it is happening in one of the divisions in national security. I don't want to call which one because I'll give away myself. But in that division, they have advertised a position that has never been advertised before. And the person next in line, who is not of the, the caliber of persons ethnically or religiously that the PNM would want at the top, right? They have decided that we don't want he there, so we're going to advertise the position. And now they're going to advertise the position, and they're going to screen for it, right? So there's a collusion between immigration or with national security and the Service Commission to put this person on the sidelines and install one of their puppets. And I can tell you the puppet is one of the puppets that they're looking at is the person that lost the money a couple of weeks back, right? Very short. But what I want to say one thing to this government, as elections is in the air, 4 words are going to say. Many tekel upar sing. If all you know all the Bible, they're going to want talking about. Have a nice day, gentlemen.
Wow. You have another call?
We have some voice notes.
Oh, yes. Let's play them. Let's play them. We want to hear from you, man. Right up until 9 o'clock.
Mike, good morning to Mikey Key. Continue dropping it like a bucket of water on them.
Listen, Ground Report. People talking about coming out to go and march. You could get 100,000 people to go and march. For you don't know that. What is medal? What is matters is an election day. People have to come out and vote. You have to motivate the people to want to vote. Get the message across. Right? People who go out to march. Sometimes half of them come out to vote. So you have to motivate the people then to come out and vote on election day. Election day is wrong. We have to show nobody the man of the always think is stupid as the government doing. It's just to motivate them to come out and vote and let us get this government out of office. We want them out of office. Right? Let them come out and motivate them to go out and vote. All have the capability to do it.
We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Good morning.
It was serious before, it is serious now. And it is even more serious for the next couple of months that we're coming in. If this country, now, let me tell you something, I done with the coal pot king and the fruit, you see them stupidness? We have now to elevate ourselves at a different level to understand what is taking place in this country. We don't want to hear nobody talking about coal pot and riding bicycle and all that kind of stuff. I want to hear now that so much people should try to open the eyes of others to let them know where they are, what they need to do, and where this country is going. For the last couple of months, I've been dealing with Asata. When I tell you, PNM take over. This is the only thing, Eric. You never had a student say Williams, they're not costing you. Don't leave my Prime Minister. I might guess my thing we here. He responsible for this even. Today, I have them now meeting. That's probably the mama guy there. But the conversation we was having a couple months ago, so where we have it now, right now, if I election call them looking to put the support the UNC. They're talking it out. Because probably, you know, it's like a woman who was always have a bad relationship. I was so careful of leaving it. And then you take your time with me because they know if you're too aggressive, you'll feel like in the same scenario that's in right now. So you have to take your time with them. You have to listen to them. You have to let them understand themselves and know where they are. When they realize they're in a bad position, they realize that they were suffering and they didn't understand what suffering is. And they realize how better their lives could do. Then they will make a one step out of that abusive relationship. And as soon as you see, they realize, wait now, I'm feeling better, breathing better. Something happening. Then you have to put the next foot across. And then they will come out of that. So that is my motive, and that is my vision right now until election. The system, and I could take the abuse. I just said, I just take that, they will say all kinds of things, that, and they were likewise, it's the same thing was going on with my neighbor. There was con PNM. And now, she walking in the road every morning like a zombie. Because she depressed, nephew gets food, some other relatives get robbed the other day, the husband lost his job, he retired,
governance. But they could have seen, well, we could have really be better off today if it wasn't for the UNC that thief out all the money, and we could have, but for a little peace of mind, she in depression right now, because all the things are happening around she right now is related to the government, but they can't see that. So they're looking to blame everything else, but Rowley failure to govern the country. But eventually, she waking up, and she will understand it. And I'm sure this election she going to be voting for PNM again. Because, again, they in a scenario where they're fearful and can't make decisions on their own. So they're going to need a little talking. I gave she a bunch of green fig this morning from my tree. I say, well, you see, look, you have to go and pay $8 a pound. Look, a whole hand of fig. It's about 56 fig in the bun. So she going to make a nice soup or something this weekend. She going to enjoy that. But the fact of the matter is that you see this narrative where we like to talk about the conversation is about coal. But look, Rowley make a statement recently. And if any right-thinking human being in this country could understand what that man say, that they're blaming the government for crime, he's not responsible for crime. You know what that man just do there? He campaigned for all the bandits in this country, all the criminals in this country, to tell them, here what? All you have to support me, you know. Because the next 5 years, once I'm in government, all you don't have to worry because me are going to do all this nothing. That is what a man said. Like I said, people make statements and then take over and say, that's all read. But don't read between the line and analyze. That statement a man makes. So I am a bandit and I am a criminal. And I am my prime minister, who's the man in charge of the head of the National Security Council. He's the man who hired the police commissioner. He's the man who hired the commissioner of national security. He's the man who is responsible for supplying the police services, whatever necessary tools they need to put bandits and criminals on the run and have them fearful. And you could come out and tell the population, hear what? Don't blame me for no crime. I'm not responsible for crime. That is not my business. What you're telling a criminal today? For the 9 years that he was government, from where he take the country and to where it is today, the criminals them feel that they was okay to do the trade, apply the trade and to employ more. That is the biggest business and the oldest growing business in the country that was created under the PNM. And now they get the Prime Minister endorse the criminals in the country to say, here what? Once I'm in government, only have 5 more years to do all the trade, to become millionaires, to jump on walls, all they want, to murder more people, that don't bother me. But you look at all the other countries, El Salvador, the Philippines, all the people, Colombia thing, Brazil, where crime was rampant, was a big issue, is the leader who come out and step out and say, you see me, I handle this thing personally. This is what I am doing. We're going to have the criminals them on the run. And so said, so done. El Salvador have one of the safest cities right now in the world, which was the most crime-ridden one. Everybody now want to go there. Same thing with Colombia, Brazil, all these places, Philippines. That's all. And it was the Prime Minister and the President of these countries that take the rein in their hands and decide that, oh, I am the one who people looking to be safe in their country. When they say Trinidadian, I am the leader of Trinidad and Tobago. I am the Prime Minister. Everything stopped with me. And this idiot that we have here tells bandits and criminals, hear what? All you go ahead and do all you want now. Don't worry about crime. We are touching all you. You understand? And that's the message he sent. The last message he sent before he leaves to go abroad to get medical treatment. When these idiots are clapping for him, can't buy the CPAP drug, they can't buy the pressure drugs, they can't go in the hospital and get a CT scan or X-ray or anything done for them in our healthcare system. When this man could leave and go and enjoy luxury in some fine first world healthcare system to get all he checked. I know we're going to push up in BAMC and all kind of thing, but he got come back with a good health of health while all you sit down here, rolling all your wheelchair, holding all your walking stick, trying to look through the cataract, to sit down in a PNM meeting and clap the idiot when he tells all you, here where is the scene. is always responsible for what's taking place and all that parade and all celebrate that. And then in 5 years, pressure and see when I was looking for pension, we got cut just now. When the food can cut just now. When everything all is expected, they get free from the cut because they don't decide what we're going to do to make money in this country because they have nothing. You understand? But anyway, let me not talk here. People always wake up. Talk at the cold, but we talk at the little small round up talk now. Let me talk serious. Let me try to see how we can convince, take all the clothes and things and let me see if we can convince somebody them to open eyes and wake up because that's the only guarantee we have in this country. That even there's a future, it has to be a future that PNM cannot be a part of. Because anytime they are a part of the future, Trinidad and Tobago, we do. So be safe for 1 weekend, happy independence. I don't know if we should say happy independence or happy dependence, because that's what Trinidad is slowly becoming a dependency syndrome country. So whatever it is tomorrow, I am saying I'm not going to support any celebration. And if the rest of the country wants to send a message, just imagine your prime minister leaving the country, you want to say, if the to go away for the Independence Day. That alone show the kind of respect and integrity this man has. So be safe over the weekend, you have a lot of noise, take care of all your animals. Some of the noise might be fireworks, might be gunshots. The next day you might hear much there again. It might add to the thing. I go in and spend a nice, peaceful weekend with my family and make sure that all the things that matters in my life is priority. Have a good morning, gentlemen, and enjoy the rest of holiday season.
Thank you, Mr. Barack Paul.
Yes, indeed. We have another call? Oh, we have some voicemails.
Any comments, Mikey or Lennox?
Yeah. Mikey, of course, last night we had a very, what I consider to be revealing discussion on the corridor, the genesis of Dr. Rowley's political career. And he frequently starts with 1974, when, of course, he said that Manning, among others, invited him. He contested an election soon after in Tobago, lost. And that was the beginning of his career. But in another, should I say, incarnation, when in 2015, he did reveal it all. And he did say in 1970, his political foray started. But it was under the NJAC. And he said he was on an NJAC platform. And of course, it seemed to be a person who was of that era called in last night and confirmed. But what is significant and what was clear is that being an NJAC at that time in 1970, when, of course, the upheaval took place, the social, what I can consider to be revolution that took place that transformed Trinidad and Tobago socially, economically, culturally, and so on. First time black people were able to work in banks, etc. That is what I'm going for. So it was positive, but he was diametrically opposed to the PNM and therefore the founding father of the PNM. What makes him this newly found savior, or should I say a total and absolute PNM fanatic? How come he doesn't tell us that? And we saw a display of that when in the 6-6 scenario in Tobago 2021, when, of course, he was talking about his foray into politics, and he almost said before 1974, and then, of course, he sort of chuckled himself and then started, of course, in 1974. So, in other words, I'm making the revelation to the sycophants and the PNM apologists and that Rowley no pure no PNM. He started his political career opposing the PNM. I know some of you are shocked. He started his political career opposing the PNM in the most significant period of challenge to the PNM's dominance under the founding father of the party, Eric Williams. In 1970, in fact, he went on to say that a fire took place, and the caller last night confirmed, he sounded like an octogenarian, somebody who would be a senior citizen now. And he said that a fire took place in some bank, and they had to put up themselves in a hotel, lest the authorities at the time believed that they would have caused it. He was a revolutionist, an anti-PNM at the time, anti-PNM policies and so on. And today, he is prescribing policies and programs for the PNM that clearly would lead the PNM to its final political grave, the dustbin of history. And I will not be surprised when they would have gotten out of office, if not this year, later this year, certainly next year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the PNM...
We have someone on?
We have
someone there?
We have a what?
We have a caller?
I am not certain. I expect the technician to tell us. We have some voicemails. Well, let's go there. Let's go there. I thought that was an interesting piece of information to let the sycophants and they know. Yes.
Actually, they went down in South yesterday and gave it Iowa George. They mash up which party have party votes on them, and they see the shape. But boy, Iowa is a member of that PNM, and look what they do. They ain't care at all. They want to march down there to create a waterfront. But Iowa was on that piece of land for a long time. And if it is, he claim a good possession of the property. Right? I want to see how it is they can march down the man's place and seize all the assets. Because at the end of the day, once he did over 15 years, the state got to pay a set of money to move from there. So I want to see how the government could deal with that, because there is only one set of incompetent thing to let taxpayer pay for it. Another failure by the government again. I want to get some millions of dollars in the hand. Have a good day, The Prime Minister saying, regardless if he did or in the crime will continue to grow. But we don't want you if you're talking like that, first and foremost. Because regardless if you're there or in there, crime going up still under your party. Or they are the world record for the most amount of murders and the most amount of evil, wicked crime that taking place in this country is because of you, Dr. Rowley. Right? So you are a demerit officer and go. And the crime will go for long because you're doing nothing for the people of this country other than all their food in all their pockets and all their finances prospering. Have a good day, relax. The Prime Minister jumped on a plane to go and get a medical checkup, boy. I wonder what his supporters have that kind of luxury at their fingertips. They might have faced the dilapidated healthcare service in this country. Some of them, when they go on for a checkup, and they had to come back 2 years from now. Or they take that in their back pocket. They only leader get the best, and or they take the worst. Have a good day, Lennox.
Good morning again, everybody. I totally agree with that lady and the accident, right? Everybody was speculating. They didn't know what happened, but they assumed that she was on her phone and crossing the road. She didn't look where she was going and she just stepped out in front of the truck, which was a blatant lie until we saw the video, right? The lights were on red when she decided to cross. She had already cleared most of the truck. And when the lights changed, she was already in the middle of the road. He probably was on his phone, I am assuming, although I shouldn't. And when he looked up, he saw the other driver moving off and he decided to move off. And then he glimpsed her and he mashed brakes. Then he probably again assumed that she cleared the truck and he drove off. But the speed he drove off at, because he did not get far, he picked up the lady. That was speed. Here now, the woman's clothes came off her. And she was spread out on that roadway. Oh, good God. What speed you going at to pull out at that red light? When the light turned green, sorry. That was real speed. Probably people started shouting, hey, stop, and he stopped and then realized that she was under the truck. And as the caller rightly said, no, there are consequences. And I am absolutely sure when the DPP view that tape, something is going to happen. Because all who want to make excuses for the driver, that, oh, he high up in the cab and he can't see, Lennox, he had to see her when she stepped off the pavement and was walking. Because she didn't go close to the truck. She was a little way off the truck. But if he was paying attention, he would have seen her. It was a sad thing that happened that should never have happened. Thanks a lot.
Lessons wrong report. Calvary Spirit here. Now hear me. You see that stripping is they're talking about idle and thing is because a lack of education. Right? The Christians never teach them. Let me tell you something. All the stuff of that stripping is. Right? Back in the days, let me give you a quick history. Back in the days, we used to write with graphics and drawings. That way you go on the pyramid and you see certain drawings. Certain things symbolize certain things. Right? So the Hindus then, that because they seen a man with an elephant head, that don't mean they're worshipping idols. It have a meaning to the man with the elephant head, right? So okay, let me play hypocrite. Let me just say you see an elephant in front of the house and they worship an idol. So then I could when I see pass by a Rasta and see a lion on his wall, I could say he worshiping lion. No, I wouldn't say that, you know why? Because I had acknowledged that that lion represents Emperor Selassie. It's the same way the elephant represents Ganesh. So you see that foolishness with all the uneducated self? You understand? Okay, let me say the Indians worship an idol because no man don't look like monkey and no man don't look like cow and thing, right? Okay. Christians, which man will ever see with our wings? All the angels have their wings. You know why? Because the Greek, the Romans, they worship a bird god by Horus, the name of Horus. Hence the reason why they believe when you're dead, you go get wings. So all this stuff are stupidness. You understand? All the uneducated set of fools talking about people worshiping idol and all. They're worshiping more idol than anything else. You understand? Go up St. Benedict and see all them idols they have up there. Go up there. So all this stuff are that. Stuff are that stupidness. All the uneducated. That's why all they're talking that. Right? Learn. Because then all religions worship an idol. But just as want to show you, if you do not know the land of Judah represents Selassie, then you could see the Rasta worshiping a lion.
Ground report, Trinidad and Tobago. Short and sweet. Good morning. Every year, we just have a budget anywhere between 55 to 60 billion. So let me just do a little quick maths. 10 years, $560 billion passed through this country. And I want you to ask all yourself, name one thing or in one way that this administration, this government improve anybody's life in this country besides themselves, their friends, and their finances. $560 billion. Look at the size of this little island, Trinidad and Tobago. And all we're seeing is gloom, doom, tightly belt, eat one banana, not two, no macaroni pie. $560 billion. You can't pay the public servants. You want to give them less than the crumbs that fall off of the table. And people let's forget and keep seeing 4%. These demons start with 001, 001. Don't ever forget that. It was 2% first. $560 billion. Non-disclosure agreement all over the place. School can't fix. Crime can't fix. Road can't fix. Bridge can't fix. Place flooding out. No increase in the salary for 10 years. But $560 billion dancing in the clothes. Locked on and listening.
caller, well said. Well said. They could have how many marches and you're only hearing the empty dustbins and them banging on the pavement about protest here, big march here, big march here. According to you, Mikey's really doing yourself flag and whistle, right? It's what happens on election day. Mobilize the people that come out on election day. Rowley's a very stubborn, arrogant man. Nothing is touching that man. Absolutely nothing. Where are the unions and them? Where are all the people that are affected by murders? Where are the parents of the 22 babies that die in NICU? Why they don't hit the streets? Look at recently the lady with the autistic child talking about the 3 ships. Where are they? But no, only in the opposition tail, the opposition ain't doing nothing. And one set of gobar. One set of gobar. Like they have nothing else to do but yang all over the place.
And Lennox, hey.
Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead, caller.
I thought we still had the voicemails going on. But go ahead, caller, if you're alive.
You want to take the 10 and make it into a grant so that they could give the supporters the grant. And here this woman, John Hancock, which is the people who come from, boy? Right? People work hard. Eh? And you want to take it away from them now? Hey boy, the people of this country must never be an enemy. They must go wrong. Hey boy, you must bury them in the top spin of forgetfulness. They must never remember them no more. Look at this wicked people, boy. Eh? Oh God, boy. And let them, boy. God, boy. Thank you, Eleanor.
Well, it's 8:58 now, so we have just 2 minutes, Mikey. I don't know if we have exhausted the voicemails. We have time, I think, for almost no more calls.
Cuff, you could line it up because it is going viral. It's out there, so that's what the ground report does. We always go into the archives and show you how it is that Rowley's statements are so contradictive, because he seems to have a very convenient memory. Yeah, and he likes to put it across to you that, remember this? Let me remind you. That's a psychological thing with him. And let me remind you, as though to give credence and to justify the nonsense that is going to follow. So let me remind you that, yeah, boy, yeah, that's true, that's how he starts. So very psychological.
Yeah, the favorite one.
He knows how.
The favorite one of mine is when he would regularly say that that at one time there was no oil refinery, at one time there was no petrotrin. Well, I want to remind Rowley now. At one time there was no Rowley too. At one time there was no blasted Rowley, and if there was no Rowley, we wouldn't be facing this kind of tragedy that we are facing today.
Yeah, so again, let me remind the people, Saturday, tomorrow, midnight, that's the deadline. Purge yourself. Purge that rotten political gut that you have. Get that Senapod, get whatever, and purge yourself of all this toxic behavior about who in doing this and who in that, and where Kamala and everything and what happening. I find Santa Cruz is calling too long. I find Miss Woodbrook she turn. I find this with Silver Fox. You see all that nonsense. Who don't like who and he say and she say. That is not building a UNC voter. I want to repeat that. That behavior does not benefit the cause. It is not going to bring about or help bring about victory. Understand that, people. Get it through your thick skull. Come off of people. We're not on personalities. We're about saving this country. When you forget, look at your children and ask yourself what future they're going to have. When you forget, look at the healthcare system. When you forget, look at the education system. Look at the infrastructure. Look at the economy. You must never forget. Yes, there might times where I might simply derail, come off a bit, but hey, Ask yourself when you get up in the morning, after you say your prayers, you had your breakfast, you have it before, and then after breakfast and you're ready to set about with your daily agenda. Today, am I going to build a UNC voter? Am I going to get into small talk with people? Am I going to be chattering and have nothing to make a contribution on? Or am I going to get involved? Do something. Do something. You hear Ms. Woodbrook said that, echoing the sentiments of Michelle Obama. Do something before something do you. Come on, people. And as we leave, you remember Rowley made it quite clear that as far as the criminals, he is responsible. Don't hold him responsible. But that's why no matter where we go, whether we outside in our car using our bullhorn, it's the ground report, it's your voice. Mainstream media wouldn't go back and connect the dots, but the ground report will. He said it is not his responsibility for what's going on with the murders, home invasions, extortion. But Cuff, just remind him on behalf of the ground report, please. Could you remind him?
It is my style of management to give responsibility and to hold people accountable. And the responsibility will be given. Ministers will be held accountable, but the buck stops with the Prime Minister. I take responsibility for this cabinet.
More time, please. For those who are closing the refrigerator door, those who have been outside, those who simply just may have left the laptop or whatever device. One more time, please.
It is my style of management to give responsibility and to hold people accountable. And the responsibility will be given. Ministers will be held accountable, but the buck stops with the Prime Minister. I take responsibility for this cabinet.
There you have it, Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed, of course, and it reminds me of his very initial, when we were introduced to him. He said that he didn't want the job. He didn't want the job, but now he wants to go out by his feet first in a coffin. Yeah. He can't.
Right.
You can't get him out now. Only recently he said that once Kabila is there, I will remain here. But of course, last year and the 2 elections before, he was saying that not only didn't he want the job, but he was leaving. But it appears that
That's right.
He has gone for medical attention
on.
to be much more healthy, to do us more evil.
Or to take advantage of it while he still has that coverage.
Yes.
Folks, don't forget later on, it's all about dancing. Come on down. Yes, come on down. It's all about the dancing to the oldies, everything from the 80s, the 90s, and even what's taking place today with our very own Lennox Smith. Come down and see him. Turns the caterpillar into a turtle, jumps out of the turtle, goes to snake, then hits you a monkey, and then he slides. He's the only one in the Guinness Book of Records to do 15 different dance moves in less than 30 seconds. Hats off to you, Lennox. And this evening, for those of you who've never witnessed it, go down to Spargo's, get there early, get your seat. And if you want, you can sweat alongside with him, bring a change of clothes, and you will be burning that fat away. So, Lennox, thank you so much again for your community work when it comes to dancing in the community.
You are an incorrigible friend, boy. Friends like you, I don't need any more. People have a wonderful rest of the day. And of course, don't forget that tomorrow, of course, we will be on the corridor. We'll be back on the corridor from 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and we will let you know on Sunday about that special program. It's the first. And I want to remind each and every one of you that the political leader of the United National Congress and the opposition leader of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, has put the UNC on general elections footing. So for those of you who didn't know, you know now. So again, you have until midnight tomorrow night to purge yourself of all your pettiness and trivial issues and all your crying. Leave the crying for the babies. Oh, dad, who ain't get phone? They ain't call me. I should have been special advisor. I know how to win. Let them go ahead and see. Let them keep getting on so. They will wear S and do this and do that. Listen, man, go and sell your flag and hush your mouth. Be quiet. Sick and tired of you. Until we meet again, have a good one. Take care. Be safe. The report is out.
Yes, people, of course, we have come to the end of the Friday edition of the Ground Report. Yes, the corridor will continue tomorrow night and not tonight. As Mikey rightly said, I will be, of course, cooling it and letting it down as Spargos on Prince Street from early. I wouldn't say exactly what time, but certainly non-stop. So have a wonderful rest of the day. God bless. And it has been wonderful doing it, not just today, but for the entire week so far. Bye-bye.
Vacancy, no employment. Cattle firecracker from gunshot. Blood dust flow when things get hot. Afraid to look out the window. To hear voices from the ghetto. Crying, crying, crying. Lord, Lord. Crying, crying. Voices from the ghetto. Crying, crying, crying. Voices from the ghetto. Help us, Father. Oh, Lord. Mothers just hold their head on ball. And them woman stronger than a wall. A big pusher eyeing she daughter. Son in jail for manslaughter. Too bad for he pay name black boys. No bail, that's the black man's choice. Like Shadow say, poverty is hell. She little girl child belly start to swell. Some say life is a cycle. But don't draw, she no circle. Where will it all end? Only time could tell. Outside the siren keep howling. Inside your belly will growling. Police raid very often. Simpson measuring a coffin. One night in bed you're sleeping. Next night is a wake that you're keeping. So you're praying to win the lotto. Not to hear voices from the ghetto. Voices from the ghetto, crying, Lord, crying, hear them pleading, crying. Voices from the ghetto. A hand to us, Lord. We are not a forgotten people. Hear our prayer.
Business. And if I put them out now quick, around here we don't support no mischief. Cause it's party time with
like that. Big bike, you ride that. Let me see you do. Girl, take the walk. Give me a jam. Girl, I know you have it. I love your habit. Do this. Them do like that. In me head. Me love the way you whine it. So long, girl, out there watching the way your bumper shaking. I don't mind approaching. Me love how your bam bam talking. Now I got your attention. Can I ask a question? Tell me if your man are wrong. Well, I want another wine. Now I'm so bad. Ooh, now I'm so bad. Ooh, now I'm so bad. Ooh, now I'm so bad. I want another wine. Now I'm so bad. Ooh, now I'm so bad. I was a fool for you. A fool for you. I was a fool for you. I was a fool for you. I thought you'd have called me, baby, just to see you'd be late again. I thought you would care about me, said you were my best friend. Maybe you think I can't live without you. Maybe that's why you treat me so wrong. I'm not obligated to you. I don't want it this way. Don't be staring through those brown eyes. You must have seen that this was coming. When I tried to talk to you, you turned away. You say you wanna dance. You don't ever want to argue. You wanna love the night away. Girl, I won't stay. Say you wanna dance. You don't wanna talk it over. You wanna love the night away. Girl, I won't stay. It's not that I don't really love you. Girl, I just don't love your style. All this time you've been playing with my mind. Now you're running out of time. Maybe my love. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I don't believe in superstars, organic foods and foreign cars. I don't believe in price of gold, that certainty of growing old, that right is right and left is wrong, that north and south can get along, that east is east and west is west, and being first is always best. But I believe in love. I believe in babies. I believe in mommy and dad. But I believe in you. Looking at yourself, mankind. Bible are fulfilled. What does it say? Wonders. Master DJ Dalvin. Do it, you know. It's a little story about life. Everybody that live will surely die. A lot of people ask the questions why? Some people wanna go for so much more before they really learn about life's score. The subject is not to be ignored. Could I never pass? Yes, I don't wanna be the one to tell you how it's gotta be. Never. Gotta be. Yeah. Living is the only way. I really wanna see. Good life. Got to see you gotta live and learn. I wanna be the one. You gotta live and learn. Tell you how it's gotta be. Before your bridge is burned. Living is the only way. Get a yo. You gotta live and learn. I really wanna see. You don't stop. Father, look what the world I come to every lad. We go through this struggle, Father, place. Run, come help we out now. We have to survive some way, somehow help we Lord. We go through this struggle. Too much negativity, I'm gonna make trouble. Look how we did I want them, but them never did a listen. Some never did a listen, so them didn't get the blessing. When Jaja come, tell me who them are go run to. One with Jack Wint and the whole world tremble. Run.
Something in my heart says this isn't right.
Mr. Lennox. What happened with it? I have to go see and check. And recently was coming by Mr. Day, but they called Mr. China document and see and check. So when I go and come back, I'll go.
Alright, make sure you punch it. Serious type of loving, hugging and